Okay. Hello, great souls. Wonderful as always to practice together. And let's just keep it simple today, bringing in the kind and gentle attention to our breath, to our movements, bringing in self-compassion as we flow through our practice. Because as we know, the more we could do that and really re-energize and create a communication inwardly with our chakras so that the columns line up more and there's a conductive pillar between each chakra, the more embodied and whole we feel, and then the more that wholeness can then exude out to others. So it's a simple prescription, but it's it's not always it can be challenging when we're feeling off balance, but we have the tools to come back on balance today. So I'm going to go to the mat and we're going to begin our breath work. So sitting comfortably. And whatever that feels like to you, lengthen through the crown. Draw the tailbone down and close the eyes and just slow down the inhale and slow down the exhale. And I find it's helpful to maybe start with focusing on, let's say, the root chakra connected to our second chakra. Just start the inhalation and then the heart chakra. 1, 2, and 4. Again, we want that conductivity, communication between the chakras, our safety, survival, security in the first chakra, our second, our creativity, sensuality, and of course the natural love of the heart and unconditional love and expansive love. And then we also realize there's the opposites of all these things I mentioned. So let's feel the connection there. And then, of course, in the yoga tradition, we definitely want to focus on the sixth chakra, the crown. Not to deny any of the chakras, the throat or the power center, but let's see what it's like if we amplify our next several rounds of breath. Let's say second chakra, fourth, and sixth. And as you inhale, feel them lighting up, energizing. As you exhale, the focus is still there, but there's a ease and a calming action, a relaxation, a gentle relaxation. So even though we're amplifying our awareness, but it's a calm awareness. It's not a hyper awareness. You know, that oceanic breath. And then find the energy that feels right to you in the amplification. So there's energy on, say, the second, the fourth, the sixth chakra, or seat of intuition, universal connection. The opening to the flow. And then receiving on the exhale. Unconditional love, connection with higher self, wisdom self, higher guidance. We're opening to it. Taking this personal self and expanding and opening up to the great universal self. And the mudra with the thumb and index finger does that as well. Okay, so we're opening the communication centers, getting that central channel, and we'll keep opening the central channel as we do our movement. So let's start in a butterfly. So we're here, we're just opening our feet a little bit farther out in front of us. And we lift the heart at first. You'll feel this, especially in the outer hips. And then we stretch forward, stretch, 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 reaching our arms out in front, bowing to the wisdom of the heart, breathing into the back of the heart. And I'm feeling my spine just kind of oscillating with the breath, a gentle rolling movement. You could be stable and you could see what happens for you. And let's just walk our hands a little bit to the right on the fingertips and thumbs, stretching through more through that left lung, left side of the body. And bending my right elbow slightly, drawing that right shoulder away from the ear. And then walking back to center, just a little bit here, warming up. Over to the left as far as your hands naturally want to go. Softening that left elbow, easing the left shoulder away from the ear. Breathing into the right lung, right side of the torso, more so. Right. And coming back to the center. If you're a visual person, you could visualize the lotus petals opening up, being fed, being nurtured, being watered. It's happening. Drawing the knees up, feet hip width apart, and just an easy dropping of the knees to the left, sweeping the right arm up, stretching up. Again, side body extension, and then over in a flow, over to the other side. Knees drop down. Left arm stretches up. And that right, again, that right elbow bends the right shoulder away from the ear. And coming down back to center. And getting set up for our vinyasa. I'm going to use the blanket here on my knees. And we worked with the blocks yesterday with a different sense of space. We get a different sense of space anytime we'll bring our forearms down. Okay. And have the hands by the elbows just to measure, and then the forearms plant down in our cat-cow. Okay. And feel the difference here as we exhale and round the spine, tucking the chin to the hollow of the throat. The navel draws back toward the spine. Exhale. Inhale, scooping action. Low, mid, upper back, eye gaze up. And we'll do this several rounds. Finding your flow, feeling those, wherever we want to bring our awareness, of course, but then tuning into the central channel, the communication between the chakras. We don't want to just focus on one. We want a communication opening between each of the main 7 chakras. Okay, one more. Exhale, rounded spine. Hear that oceanic breath. Really feel it. I feel it more in the shoulders when I have my forearms down like this. And it's more of a release. Stretching out in puppy, extending the arms. Hairline toward the floor, stretch, stretch, stretch. Again, feel where you can bring more kindness and compassion to areas of your body. Could be the whole system. And then we transition by coming onto the forearms, reaching through the heels and our forearm plank. We could stay stable, or we can come forward with the heart and then reach back through the heels. It's quite strong. Want both strength and flexibility, of course. And then touch down on top of the knees into our Sphinx pose. Unfurl the toes. Elongate. Feel the back bend. And we'll be warming up with our locust, Salambhasana. So stretching the right arm out in front, left arm down by our side. We're going to do opposites. We know that's so good for the brain, bilateral movement. So we pulse up with our right arm, our left leg. Inhale, expanding our wings of joy, soaring upwards. Exhale, soften. Pulse up again. Right arm, left leg. Energizing. And ease. 3 times each side. The affirmation is I soar upward on wings of joy. We're spreading our wings of joy. Exhale before we go the other side. Rest at the spiritual eye. Soften the shoulders. And just know that light is there. State of intuition. Full yogic breathing here. Feel the earth, Mother Earth supporting you. And when you're ready, we extend the left arm out in front. Feet hip width apart. Remember that block between the inner thighs. Imagine that so you get both legs active. Right arm down by your side. Of course, opposite. Left arm, right leg pulses up. And we're recharging the spine, every back bend. Exhale. Not collapse, ease. 2 more times. They soar upward on wings of joy. Checking into our joy wings. Making sure pillows are fed. So important. Inhale. I soar upward on wings of joy. And then the ease. Stack the other hand on top. Large toes touch, heels apart. Full yogic breathing, which means the belly expands, then the heart, and then the energy goes up to the crown, spiritual eye, and then the reverse happens on the exhale. Such a treat to really tune in to the full yogic breath and visualize those, because that's what's happening. The chakras are expanding and opening and communicating with one another. Feet hip width apart. Now we'll take it deeper into our Cobra Bhujangasana. Hands underneath the shoulders, legs strong. We could do half cobra, full cobra. Inhale, rising up to greet the opportunities of this day. I'm going to lift the knees off the ground. You decide, stick out the tongue, open the throat chakra. Do that a couple times. Eye gaze up. And again. Excellent. And the knees touch down, and we'll do a rounded cat. We'll feel the difference with our, not on our forearms. So from the chin to the hollow of the throat, navel to the spine, the opposite direction. We keep playing with the opposites a lot in our practice. Scooping out. Now rounding again. But this time we draw the left knee in, and we draw the right knee toward the forehead. It's not going to touch. And we're going to do our kick. We're going to stretch our right leg up and then stretch our left arm up. Okay. Exhale. Left elbow, right knee. Think of kicking, extending right leg, left arm, and again. Adding more to it. If it's too much, come back to the cat-cow. We'll be on the bilateral. And then lowering that left hand, right toes turned under. Just press forward and back to help that left hamstring and calf really open up. And we'll bring our right knee in to the center line. Do the same thing, adding the kick to the opposite and extension of cat-cow. So when you're ready, go ahead and round the spine, draw the left knee in, extend the left leg out, reach that right arm up. Did the variation just a moment ago in locust. See how this feels to your body and your mind, your spirit. Drawn in, right elbow, left knee, extending out, reaching up, and one more time. Stretching out, kicking up, and lowering the right hand, turning the left toes under, and really feel that left hamstring and calf. Woohoo! Very good. Okay, and we'll take it to our whole body stretch, downward facing dog. When you're ready, hover off the knees, couple breaths, activate the core strength. Already feel the muscles wrapping around the bones. When it's time, we pour back. Heart radiating toward the thighs. Reaching through the base of the fingers. A little treading it out or stability, you decide. And we're inviting calmness, peace to radiate through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. To feel, of course, the central channel line. We're getting the inversion, the cleansing. We want to recharge and cleanse every time we practice. Both are happening, cleansing and recharge. When you're ready, step one foot forward, then the opposite, then walk the hands back. Find your forward fold. Arch toes slightly in. I'm going to rest my palms at the hollows of the elbows. You want to massage the back of the neck and scalp. Letting go of any unnecessary mental holding, things we can't control. And then bringing the positive, wake my brain. Be wise, be strong. Awake my brain. Be wise, be strong. The arms release and bend the knees. Lift the heart, lift the head, sweep the arms back in chair. It's strong. Uttanasana. Sweeping up. Pulsing. Exhale out the tension. Bring in life force, prana energy as we rise up. And feel the space all around you. Yielding into the earth. Creating that circle of joy within and without, and our energy field within our body and outside our body. Okay, we'll drink of water here. Come back to our conductive pillar and the spine. Communication is the focus of the chakras. Feeling the heart center. Breathe into it, the floor, the ceiling, the sidewalls of the chest. Okay. Connecting to the other chakras as well. But opening to the light, opening up to the higher consciousness within all beings, or that prayer, if you will, and we open to the light. And may others open to the light as well, when we all see each other in that light, in that pure namaste. We're going to step our right foot back And coming into our Virabhadrasana 1, but with our thumbs together. So I'll explain what I mean once we get rooted down. Bend the left knee over the second toe, get the physical alignment. The right foot at a 30-degree angle. You decide how far you want to root down. Then as we rise up, okay, we'll sweep the arms up, but we'll interlock the thumbs, okay? And we'll reach the palms are facing forward. So a little bit more of a back bend by doing this. And then we exhale and bend the elbows. And we surge up as we affirm, I attune my will to the source of all power. Bend the elbows, root down. I attune my will to the source of all power. Feel what that's like to have the thumbs connected, palms open, and then out to the side, heart wide open. Reach behind you, if possible, interlock. If not, the hands can come down by your side. Or you can use a strap to come forward. And bring that left shoulder by the knee. You're not collapsing on it, but we're just touching lightly. Crown of the head, bowing to the wisdom of the heart. Knuckles lift to the sky. Exhale, ease. Couple breaths here. Ooh, deeper lunge. And back of the heart opener, shoulder opener, releasing gradually the hands down. Rotating off that back heel, coming forward on top of the right knee, walking our left foot out to the side. I'm going to bring my left hand inside and hydrate the hips, side to side, the flow. And our hips, again, that's connected, of course, first, second chakra, and sense of, security, safety, creativity, sensuality. You see this open here that could be expressed in so many different ways. A connection to touch, right? And you can reach one forearm down if that works for you. If not, you'll stay on the hands. Just a couple breaths here. I'm rolling onto the little toe side of the foot. And really getting the dental floss for the hips here. Ooh, okay. When you feel like it's time to shift, we're going to bring that left knee in. Walk one hand, then the other. Walk the foot in again. And before we go the flow to the other side, we turn the back toe under. We vinyasa through, of course. So plank pose. Forward and back. Bring one forearm down, then the other. Breathing in, breathing out. And then come into our Sphinx. Okay. So we're going to do a half bow. We did the locust for a warm up. So what we're going to do is bring the right forearm in front, bending the left knee. You may need a strap here to reach around to grab that left ankle. Think of holding on to that ankle and then kicking that foot away from you or with the strap. It takes a little bit to loop it. So recharging and then maybe not lifting that left thigh up. We're getting quite a quad stretch by just making the connection with her foot to the ankle. Correct. And recharging the spine. Maybe the thigh lifts, maybe it doesn't, but you'll feel it. It's super strong. Deeper breathing, exhaling through the mouth as we recharge through the spine and then release. Ooh. Very good. We will do the other side when we do the vinyasa flow. Rising up to greet this day, moment to moment awareness. We may have plans, even with the plans, we may not. We're just going to be open to whatever arises as we rise up, ready to greet this day. Open the lion's breath, maybe knees up, shoulders down. Moment to moment awareness. Okay, and let's take rest before we go into our down dog. Let the knees go wide. Stretch back, lift off of the wrist so the fingertips, thumbs touch. Deep belly breathing here. And keep flowing. Rounding cat. To transition, toes turned under, scoop it out. Cat cow. And neutral spine, hover off the knees. Take your time to luxuriate into our downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Shavasana. So there's a energy, but a calmness, peace radiates through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. That's the ideal yogic expansion and calmness, energy and calmness both. And walking, bending the knees. You're reaching the palms underneath the soles of the feet, if you can, or any forward bend that works for you. Again, shaking out unnecessary tension. Getting the blood flow to the brain. Bending the knees when it's time to come out even deeper into our chair. Sweeping the arms back, sweeping the arms forward, pulsing a couple times. And stretching the arms out and feeling the space all around you, as well as within you. That conduit energy line of the central channel, first, second, third, fourth, connecting to the fifth, sixth, seventh, and beyond. Leading to that light within, which is the spiritual eye out in front of us and all within us. That dawning of higher consciousness for all beings, and we can bring in some people that we'd like to send healing energy to. Visualize them at your spiritual eye. Yield into the earth. Okay. And we're going to step our left foot back, right foot forward into our Virabhadrasana 1 with the thumbs interlocking. So let's get our stance. Hips facing forward. Right hip back, left hip forward. Bend the right knee. And sweeping the heart open, the arms open, interlocking at the thumbs, palms are facing forward. So this shift of just the hand clasp can have a change of feeling in the entire pose. So as we exhale, we root down, bend the elbows, open the hearts. And inhale, expand up. I attune my will to the source of all power. That's it, right? Use of connective power in our solar plexus. It's rising up. It's interconnected to our higher chakras. We don't want to just have it throbbing there. We want to direct it. I attune my will to the source of all power. That's a great way to connect our power center to our crown chakra. Again, that inner connection. Reach through, interlock, if possible, angle, and then come forward. Right shoulder touches perhaps the knee, lower thigh. Open the toes of the right foot as we bow to the wisdom of the heart.
Thinking of those ones we want to send healing energy to. It's strong, it's meant to be strong. And when it's time to come out, we'll release the hands, we rotate off of the back heel, we lift the heart, we lift the head, we walk our right foot out to the side, we're on top of that left knee, right arm comes inside, and we just ease side to side. Meditate on bringing kindness, gentleness to whatever parts of the body you would like, or to another being. Sending them kindness and compassion. When you're ready, one forearm comes down, then the other. And you can use a bolster here. I'm going to roll onto the little toe side of the right foot. And really connect to that full yogic breathing in all the poses, but there's sometimes our mind goes into different areas. We can come back to the full yogic breath. So that we know when we're off the mat, no matter formation we find ourselves in, whatever, we can come back to the breath. Stabilizing. Draw the knee in, and we're going to transition, turn the back toes under the left foot, come into our plank. Strength pose, forward, come back, draw the navel toward the spine. Bring one forearm down, then the opposite. And then the tops of the knees touch. Uncurl the toes, legs are strong. And we're going to bring the left forearm in line with the mat for our half bow. Okay. Bending our right knee. We didn't rotate the ankle last time. You may use the strap, of course, reaching back, and legs are strong, and we kick back the hand into the foot into the hand. Maybe that thigh lifts up a little bit, the heart lifts. Recharging. Central channel. Back bends, creating energy, recharging the chakras and these areas of the body. Excellent. When it's time, you can even bring that heel in a little bit closer to stretch through that quad. And then we take rest. Back onto the stacking of the hands at the spiritual eye. Softening the shoulders. And breathing. So let's tune in, let's ask, does your body want to try to do the full bow? If not, we could do variation of windshield wiper with the feet, or we're trying full bow. We're bending both knees and using a strap, or kicking back and lifting up. It might seem easier than half bow. For me, this seems easier for some reason. I'm rocking a little bit, really cleansing the colon here. Digestive cleanse. In our lower chakras. Whoo! Very good. Try to get equalized through both arms and legs. And then releasing again. Bringing those heels in. Taking a moment in our Sphinx. Great. And then into Cobra. Rising up, Bhujangasana, breathing the opportunities of this day. Awakening to the light force energy. And then, of course, the opposite. Well-deserved opposite here. Knees wider than the hips, stretching back into prayer pose. And slowly lifting up. Okay. So before we go into the next pose, I just want to time track a little bit to know that we've been practicing for about half an hour. And you could do a lot, of course, in a half an hour. So just notice the effect on the physical body. I would do a back release before I ended the practice, but just see how your system feels, your chakra alignment system feels, your physical body feels with a 30-minute practice. Sometimes we don't have an hour, 45 minutes, and it could do quite a bit. We'll go for about another 15 minutes and see how that feels. So when you're ready, we come back and we're going to do a wide angle forward fold. So we'll transition to ripple back and stretch it out and down dog. In fact, let's do a ripple. So as we tread out, let's ripple forward, meaning tucking and rolling, kind of cat-cow like through our down dog. Rolling, rounding, cat-cow in our down dog. 3 of these. Wonderful transition. Before we find our stability of the pose. Press into the thumb, index finger, and let's add 10 breaths of fire here. Exhale through the nostrils, navel to the spine. Slow it down. And now transitioning into that wide angle extension. So our arms are reaching out in front, our legs are as wide as it feels comfortable for you. Remember that kindness and compassion in your physical body. So we walk our arms out in front, and then we walk our hands, our wrists underneath our shoulders. Left fingertips face the right hand, the whole torso twists, and we stretch our right arm up. I'm going to heel toe my feet in a little bit more because I'm going to bring my right arm over, upper inner arm by the ear. See if I could hold above the left ankle, and then the left hand reaches mid right calf. And again, we get this incredible side stretch here with a hamstring extension added to it. Again, this is good for the brain at the, we're working with the opposites. And then we go ahead and we come out of it. And the right fingertips face the left hand, the whole torso twists, the left arm reaches up, head to tail connected. Bring that arm by the ear. If you need to walk your feet in more, go for it. And maybe simultaneously, you just lift above that ankle and twist. Deep, full yogic breathing. Hear that oceanic sound. Unravel. Ooh, wrists underneath the shoulders. If you can, if interlocks are okay for your body, interlock. If not, hands on the hips to come up. So we bend our knees. We've been upside down here, so watch the head rush. Get a point on the floor. Arms reach out in star pose. Take your time to bring it back in to mountain, ground, and root down, and lengthen simultaneously. Again, that conductive pillar
of the central channel chakra system being cleansed and recharged simultaneously. So our balance pose today will be the tree pose. If you'd like a block, feel free. I'm a fan of the block in this one these days. Rooting down through the left foot. Looking at a point out in front of you. And let's just see, you can have that block lower, or you can bring it higher with your hip, your knee turning out, and your hip opening. Or you can put the foot on, just not on the knee, the calf or the thigh. Perhaps the arms reach up like the branches of the tree. Your own tree were rooted down, trunk roots are grounded, and arms, heart are lifted. Even if you're wobbling, you're affirming that calmness poised within. You can return to it. I'm calm, I am poised. Releasing out. Drawing the knee in. Making sure you don't step on the block. In that way, shifting down through the right foot. Looking at a point in front of you. Again, it could be on the calf. You could use the block to lightly bring the toes lightly touching. You're still trying to find your balance, even with the block. Then maybe the foot comes on the inner thigh. Knits, life storms, we can find our center. We come back to calmness and poise. I'm calm. I am poised. Breathing and rising simultaneously, not staying long. You know, we need our balance challenge at least once a day, preferably several times a day. Bring that foot in, don't step on the block, circle around. Okay, I'm going to hydrate. And we're going to ease on down and release our back. So we come into a squat, Malasana, if that works for you. Come down. I know this can be a lot on knees, so maybe you want to sit on a bolster. We're not going to be here long. I'm just using this as a wonderful pose in itself. Deep squat and a transition. Before we come all the way down on our back, though, I like to just do a few ab strengtheners. So we're tucking the tailbone under. We're releasing the low back, mid back, but then the back of the head is off the ground. And we're lightly touching the back of the neck. The knees are bent. The toes are flexed back. And we're just going to do an opposite, meaning left leg extends, left elbow toward the right knee. It doesn't have to touch. Back to center and switch. Twisting at the core and coming back. Twisting. Big exhale. Coming back. Heads off the ground. Light touch. Not yanking my neck. See if we got 2 more in us here. You're welcome to do more if you like. Feel that core strengthening. And then the release. The knees to the shoulders. Rocking side to side. Head relaxing, neck relaxing. Okay. Inner borders of the feet together. Knees come apart. And then knees draw together. A few times in each direction.
So we're already most likely feeling, oh, calming. We energize the nervous system. Now we're going more into calming. We'll do our classic twist, extending the left leg, right knee bend, rotate the right ankle a few times in each direction. Planting the right foot down, heart opens again, swivel the hips to the right, but that knee comes over, crosses the midline of the body, pulls him back and forth. Now this is meant that shoulder comes off the ground when we pulse back and forth. But then if you're going to extend the leg or keep the knee bent, we keep that shoulder down and open the heart for a full expansion here. And sweeping the right arm up and over in our windshield wiper stroke, affirming divine life is within me and all around me. Divine life is within me and all around me. Try to really feel into the truth of that. If maybe it doesn't feel completely true, but the ultimate truth is that. So we're realigning into our highest truth of divine life within me and all around me. Softening your right knee, planting that foot and swiveling the hips. Folding the right knee in. Extending the right leg out. Just take it in here. Feel that solar energy. Meridians flowing. There is a block in the body. Breathe into it. Feel energy flowing. And this, especially the solar side. Now, before we go to the other side, I'd like to add in, I'm just going to adjust my blanket, a fish pose in between. So notice what it's like to bring a pose in between a classic pose we link and sync together. So we'll bring our forearms underneath the cheeks, palms down, arcing the back, legs strong onto the back of the head. Deep, deep, deep heart opening. And the affirmation is, my soul floats on waves of cosmic light. My soul floats on waves of cosmic light. It's time. Very light touch of the back of the head. You're going to press through the forearms and release the back of the head and neck. Bend the left knee, bring the forearms out, and you can see how you can just fold naturally that left leg in to release the spine. You want to practice, I mean, we're always linking poses together, but in between a classic pose, maybe you want to put another pose in and see how that feels. Flat the left foot down, swivel over, draw the left knee across the midline, back and forth, hydrating. Okay, maybe extending the leg. If you do, either way, the right toes point up. We'll root down through both shoulders. Bring the arms out to the side. And we do the classic affirmation. Divine life is within me and all around me. Or any affirmation you may be personally working on. Of course, they're powerful when spoken. I find it even more so with movement and voice. Divine life is within me and all around me. Okay. Softening when you're ready. The left knee. adjusting onto the spine. Folding that left knee in. Big exhale. As we descend the left leg, draw the shoulders away from the ears, feet wider than hip width apart. And tune into the lunar side. Side that represents more of that witness observer part of ourselves, where we're not so much in our stuff of life, but we're aware of, we're observing it compassionately from a mountaintop or from an expanded view, not so much in it, witness observing. Like on a branch of a tree. There's so much freedom when we are able to do that, which we are able to do. When it's bring it into our practice more and more, and being, it's a part of ourselves. It's a lunar part of ourselves. It's the whole equation here. You want to bring it on. And let's just take this all in, back to our butterfly before we go into Shavasana. If that's okay on your hips, if not, protecting your low back and hips would be the knees and the feet wider than the mat. I'm gonna just, you can take your blanket and roll it and bolster. We're gonna be here too long, but it's an invitation if you want to do a restorative. So align your spine, your central channel, these wonderful chakra systems here. One hand, let's see where you want to make, it's all connecting our central channel line, but do you want first, second chakra, third, with one hand? Okay, sensing where I want to go for me today. Between the second and third, and heart. And breathe into the interconnectivity of the chakras. Gently amplifying them with our awareness. Even my hands are here, I'm still focusing at the 6th and 7th chakra, bringing that light, that infinite light. We'll use the classic affirmation here in a moment in our Shavasana. Awakening to that light. Deciding what pose would be best for you for Shavasana. And if that's legs up the wall, continue with the butterfly or any way you like, legs extended, or really just keep deepening into restoration. And any way to make yourself cozy, comfortable, hydrating. Okay. As you're getting into your Shavasana position, I'm just going to adjust here too. Knowing that we've done a deep energy exchange every time we practice between the chakras, that conductive pillar through the central channel, but there was more talk about it today, that it's the connection, the columns line, that column lines up more and more when we communicate
between each of the chakras and we listen, get the right alignment. And maybe your head wants to ease from side to side, depending on the position you're in. Maybe not. At some point, it stabilizes the head. And we visualize the crown, the thousand petal lotus opening and expanding at the crown. And we take this affirmation by Paramahansa Yogananda deep inward if it speaks to you. I am submerged in eternal light. It permeates every particle of my being. I am living in that light. This divine light fills me within and without. I'll say it again more softly as we relax our eyes and our jaw with a gentle focus inwardly at the spiritual eye and open through the crown. I am submerged in the eternal light. It permeates every particle of my being. I am living in thy light. Divine Spirit fills me within and without. Softening the shoulders, the throat chakra, feel radiant sensations streamlining down both arms. Pulsation perhaps in the palms of the hands, thumbs. And we keep that interconnection as we breathe into the heart chakra, anahata chakra. Feel the floor, the ceiling, the sides of the chest connected to the 6th and 7th chakra. I am submerged in thy eternal light. It permeates every particle of my being. I am living in that light. The divine spirit fills me within and without. Breathing into the solar plexus, the ribs, the belly, the low back, 2nd, 1st chakras. Earth supporting you. Cheeks relaxing left and right. Thighs, knees, calves, ankles, left and right. All the way through the soles of the feet, digits of the toes and heels. Supported, grounded, and filled with light simultaneously. Already whole, already free, already aware. Just notice if it's time for you to transition to movement or stay in interiorization, pratyachara. You are transitioning, just ease onto one side, symbolic of the fetal pose. Again, continuing to treat ourselves kindly, gently throughout the day, off the mat. And if it speaks to you to send healing energy to others, visualize them, especially at the spiritual eye. I'm going to rub the hands together to generate some heat. Could be for the planet. Could be very big or specific, but we'll all get this healing energy no matter what. Inhale. And bringing the hands together in namaste, acknowledging the deep, deep, deep wisdom of the heart, spiritual eye, letting it lead the way. That's where we ideally meet one another in this depth of experience, of knowing, and moving into the day with communication of the chakras, the columns lining up, the conductive pillars vibrating between each other, and listening. So I will end the recording